Hello there, Year 7. Let's continue our geography studies. We have just finished the Asian chapters and we have a new continent to explore, namely the Americas. I said Americas because it has some bigger parts. Right behind me you can see North America. South of that there's Central America. If I move the map a bit, you can see some parts of it. And the last part is this southern section, which I can't show you right here now, but you can just open your atlas and check it. South America. So North, Central and South America, the Americas. More than 40 million square kilometers, 44.3 million square kilometers exactly. So it's a gigantic, huge piece of land. So we are going to analyze just different sections of it so you can remember well. First, the borders, the seas, oceans, big bays, gulfs and peninsulas. So let's start with these. I'm going to place my little pen right there to the north to symbolize a really narrow area between Asia and North America. That is going to be our starting point. What do we call this narrow passageway? Can you remember? Yeah, it's called a strait. That is the Bering Strait. I'm going to circle that. So after this area, we are going to go to the southern parts. First, the Pacific Ocean, which is right here in the western part of the land. And what is the name of the other ocean there? That is the Atlantic Ocean. The name is written right there. In the north, there's one more ocean. This area here, and you can find there the name. I hope you can see it. Yes, the Arctic Ocean. So now we could find the major borders: Pacific, Arctic, and the Atlantic regions with the Bering Strait. Let's see this huge area, which is a bay surrounded by land. That is the Hudson Bay. Okay, now we can move to the south and let's analyze what we can find there. What bordering waters? If you see this map, you can find another huge Gulf area, Gulf of Mexico, which I'm going to circle right now, and the Caribbean Sea. This is the area where Cristoforo Columbus and his ships probably appeared first. So they thought that this was India and they named this area West Indies. But the West Indies are not in India or around India. They are right here near the Central American seashore. Okay? Then let's see some of the peninsulas. Let's start in the south because then I don't need to move the map that much. The first one in the southeast is the Florida Peninsula, and it has a kind of matching partner in the west, the California Peninsula. Please take note that the California Peninsula doesn't equal with the state of California in the United States. This is a big peninsula belonging to the country of Mexico, and the state California is further in the north. Let's see the rest of the peninsulas. A big one which was bought from Russia is Alaska. And the Alaska Peninsula is this long tail right there. Then the next one we are going to have is not a peninsula but an island, Greenland. Officially, this one is part of Denmark, but from the point of view of geology and the formation of stones, it shows a special relation with the American continent. So they are like good friends. So, just one more peninsula, Labrador. The dog is named after this geographical region. And there's one bigger area called Newfoundland in the neighborhood. That's also a dog name, by the way. So, the Labrador Peninsula. Okay, I think we checked all the important parts. Just one more thing to mention. It caused quite a big problem for those people who were travelers and they wanted to go around South America to see what they can find in the western part of this world, America, and they had to go around. They had to waste quite a lot of time, and they had an idea. There's this really narrow piece of land right in the middle in Central America, and they wanted to make a canal here, and finally they did. So Panama Canal is important because of this reason. You can just go across that area and then the western part of present-day United States can be reached quite easily. Okay, so I'm just checking the book. We have just checked all the important names which are listed there. So let's explore the inner land. I need to move the map a bit. Probably this way it's much better. I'm going to use a different color, maybe this red one, just to show the different parts of North America. And why don't we start with the oldest parts? Can you remember what we call the oldest parts of continents? Yeah, land masses. And the symbol is tiny crosses all over the land. North America has a big granite landmass in the north. We call that Canadian Shield. Shield means polish because the stones are so hard that even ice had problems with it. During Ice Age, you know, ice was moving south towards the southern parts of North America, and it was scouring the surface, making these lots of holes. And now these are basically lakes. But the ice stopped right here at this part and formed a giant wall this way because it could wear away the stones, but where the ice melted, nothing happened. So this is like a natural kind of dam system, and in the holes again there are big lakes there. So let's symbolize first the Canadian Shield, and let's put there the little crosses all over the place. So I'm just doing this right now. This symbolizes that it's an ancient landmass. And the Great Lakes are there. What are the 5 Great Lakes? Let's learn the names. In Hungarian, we call the first one in the west, the westernmost one, Felsőtó, but of course the English name is different. Lake Superior is the name, so you can practice that. Lake Superior. Then Lake Michigan is the next one. Lake Huron, Lake Erie, and Lake Ontario. Between Erie and Ontario, there's the famous waterfall, Niagara Falls. It's a tradition for American people, I think, that when they want to go somewhere on honeymoon, you know, when they marry, they have the special wedding ceremony, and after that many couples love traveling to Niagara Falls. So it's a nice honeymoon trip. Okay, now we just checked the old parts of North America, the Canadian Shield with the Great Lakes. Let's see the old mountain ranges. The oldest one is right here in the east. It's called Appalachia. How do we know that it's old? Actually, it's not that tall. There are big, wide valleys, rounded mountain tops. So you can see that it's an old mountain range. We also call it faulted mountain range. You know, faults are the special words in Hungarian. We call them vetődések. Okay? Then, after these very old mountain ranges, let's see the young ones in the western part of the country. These are young folded mountain ranges, symbolized by this brown color, much taller than the ones in the east. So we call this whole lot cordilleras, and one part of it is the Rocky Mountains, which is Sziklás-hegység in Hungarian. So cordilleras, and one part of it is the Rocky Mountains. And this whole range goes further south. It's part of the Pacific Mountain Range system. Why do we call it Pacific Mountain Range system? Because it's right alongside the Pacific seashore. Lots of volcanoes in the south. The northern parts are a bit more kind of relaxed from the point of view of geological procedures. So the southern part is much more active, more earthquakes and volcanic eruptions are typical there. So if we had the young Rocky Mountain Range, part of the Pacific Mountain Range system and Cordilleras, we know everything about the young folded mountains, Győrt-hegysége. There are some big basins between the ranges. One of them is the so-called Great Basin. I just want to show you that one. And the river Colorado flows right into the Pacific region. The name is because of the reddish-colored stones and the little particles of stones. The deposit is in the river, giving the river a really special hue, shade. And because of this special colored shade, the name is Colorado. Spanish terminology. There are really many Spaniards living in the region. This is why. Okay, then let's see the youngest parts, the plains of North America. Of course, you can see the green parts on a map, so you can easily see where the plain regions are, like at the Atlantic seashore here or at Gulf of Mexico. But the biggest one is the Mississippi Plain. I'm just circling this area. Mississippi, double S, double S, double P. Please remember the spelling. And the Great Plain, which is also called prairie. Actually, the Great Plain is, even though it's a plain, so it's a flat area, it goes towards, the whole area just goes towards the Rocky Mountain region. So it's like a gigantic slope. We can call these areas plateaus. So your book just calls it a special kind of plateau area. So these are the basic parts. Now you can work in your workbook, of course. You can check page 45. Here you can start with the borders of North America. There's a crossword puzzle in task 1. After that, you can continue numbering the landscapes into the map on the next page, this one. So the names are here on page 45, but the map is on page 46. So you can do that. This map can help you, plus probably you have your own atlas at home as well. Before you move on in the workbook, of course you can always just stop this footage. I want to show you some of the parts we mentioned. The border between Asia and North America, the Bering Strait, just a satellite image of that region is here. So the two pieces of land are really close to each other. Who can guess what part this one is? Yeah, it's the Panama region, that special canal where the ships can just get across really easily. This image was taken in Greenland, which is the biggest island, and geologically it shows special connection with the other parts of North America. We mentioned Labrador, the peninsula, just a nice landscape image for you on that. And this one is another peninsula in the northwest, Alaska. Then The Rocky Mountain region, lots of people can go skiing there, but near Los Angeles, for instance, summers are really hot. So this is one of the places on earth where you can go to the seashore and swim, and maybe in the afternoon you can go skiing as well, if you are lucky and there's some snow. We mentioned the old folded mountain range of the Appalachians. Yeah. Appalach-hegység, so even the Hungarian name is very similar. And the big plateau plain area of the prairie or Great Plain. Right behind me, you can see that. Okay. Next one, the granite of the ancient landmass of the Canadian Shield. Really hard stone. And the 5 big lakes. Some of the cities are around them can be important. This is why I'm showing you this one. And please remember the names of the lakes, okay? Lake Superior, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario. Between Erie and Ontario, the Niagara Falls. Niagara vízesés. Okay, so these were the special images I wanted to show you. And now, don't forget to work here in the book, in the workbook, and finish task 3, which is based on the different special geographical features of North America concerning their age. So the geological time scale is important here, but your book can help you if you open it at page 48, which is the second part of the North American chapter. So please continue working, and probably we can meet in one of our Zoom sessions when we can check all these which you have just done in your workbook. So until then, bye-bye.